Hello, students. Welcome to your revision story for English Science. Chapter 1: The Meadow Opens. Bert looks at the test paper, and the room slowly fades away. In the next moment, he is standing in a quiet meadow. A tall flower stands beside him, almost as if it has been waiting. Bert gives it a small wave. The flower says calmly, "Good morning, Bert."
Notes for revision. Flowers that attract pollinators often have large and colorful petals. Pollinators like bees and butterflies are drawn to bright colors. Parts of a plant include the flower, leaf, stem, and roots.
A bee drifts past his ear, moving busily through the air. Bert waves again. "Great to see you, Bert," the bee says as it bumps into the anther. Pollen sprays everywhere. Some lands on Bert, some on petals, and some falls onto the top of the flower, right onto the stigma.
Notes for review. Parts of a flower. Petal. Bright part that attracts insects. Anther. Makes pollen. Stigma. Sticky part that catches pollen. Ovary. Holds the seeds as they grow. Sepal. Protects the flower when it is a bud. Style. The tube to the ovary. Filament. Holds up the anther. Pollen. Plant dust that helps make seeds. Ovules. Tiny parts that become seeds.
In a flash, the flower doesn't move. Instead, it simply changes. The petals fold away, and seeds appear where the flower used to be. "That was fantastic," he whispers to the insect on the leaf. The insect gave him a tiny thumbs up, smiled, and said, "Yes, it is. The flower's seeds will soon make new plants." Bert looks happy at the plant. The seeds are maturing and inside the ovary's protective walls.
Seed coat. The hard cover that protects the seed. Food. The food inside the seed that helps the new plant start growing. Embryo. The tiny baby plant inside the seed.
Chapter 2: The Right Place. Miranda followed the forest path until it opened into a clearing that felt almost magical. A long table stood in the middle, surrounded by colorful mushrooms and twinkling lights. Sitting at the table were 4 unusual guests. A polar bear sat calmly on a patch of snow. Next to him, a camel rested on soft golden sand. Across from them, a bright blue poison dart frog perched on damp leaves. And at the end, a gentle sea turtle waited patiently. Miranda smiled and took a seat and asked them, "Where do you like to live?" The polar bear lifted his head proudly. "I like the Arctic. It is cold and icy. My thick fur keeps me warm, and my big paws help me walk on snow." The camel blinked slowly. "The desert is perfect for me. I can store fat in my hump and survive when there is little water." The frog hopped forward happily. "I need the rainforest. It is wet and shady, and I can stay hidden among the leaves." The turtle nodded gently. "I belong in the ocean. My flippers help me swim, and my shell protects me." Miranda looked around the table. She thought for a moment. "I guess every living thing needs the right habitat," she said quietly. "That is how it stays safe, healthy, and alive." The animals smiled back, and the magical tea party continued.
Exam revision. Where do animals live? Habitats. Polar bear, cold Arctic, ice and snow. Camel, hot desert, sand and little water. Poison dart frog, warm rainforest, wet ground and leaves. Sea turtle, ocean water, near reefs and beaches.
Miranda found herself standing in a world of snow and ice. The cold air brushed against her cheeks, but the polar bear beside her looked perfectly comfortable. "Don't you feel cold?" Miranda asked. The bear shook his head gently. "Not at all. My thick white fur coat keeps the heat in, and because it's white, I'm camouflaged in the snow." Miranda noticed his paws pressing into the snow. "My big paws spread my weight so I do not sink. They also help me walk across slippery ice." She looked up at his face. "Your ears are small," she said softly. The bear nodded. "Small ears lose less heat. Everything about me helps me survive here." Miranda smiled. "You are perfectly designed for the Arctic," she said.
Polar bear adaptations. Revision. Small ears. Lose less heat. White fur. Helps hide them in the snow. Large paws. Spreads their weight on the ice and helps them with swimming.
Chapter 3. Forest Classroom. Miranda walked into a quiet clearing in the forest. Under a giant mushroom, an owl was teaching a small class. A lion and an eagle sat on one side. A deer and a cricket sat on the other. On the chalkboard, it said, "Predators hunt," and "Prey hide." The owl explained calmly, "Predators must hunt to survive. Prey animals use speed, hiding, and careful watching to stay safe." The lion nodded proudly. The deer listened carefully. A sign beside the board read, "No eating in class." Miranda smiled, and the lesson continued.
Predator. Prey. Revision. Predator. An animal that hunts and eats other animals. Example. A lion hunting a zebra. Prey. An animal that is hunted and eaten by a predator. Example. A rabbit eaten by a fox.
Chapter 4. At the Palace Fitness Clinic. Back at the castle, Ime visited the Palace Fitness Clinic. A friendly giant sat on a bench. On a big screen, Ime could see inside the body. She pointed to the picture. "Food goes on a journey," she said. "First it goes into the mouth. Then it moves down the esophagus. Next it goes to the stomach. After that it goes through the small intestine. And then the large intestine." The giant listened carefully. "So my body uses food for energy?" he asked. Ime nodded. "Yes. Your digestive system helps you stay strong and healthy." The giant smiled. He felt much better.
The digestive system. Revision. Mouth. The mouth chews the food and mixes it with saliva. Esophagus. The esophagus is a tube that carries food down to the stomach. Stomach. The stomach mixes the food and breaks it into smaller pieces. Small intestine. The small intestine absorbs nutrients from the food into the blood. Large intestine. The large intestine takes water out of the food and makes solid waste. Anus. The anus is where the waste leaves the body.
Chapter 5. Teeth, Different Jobs. In the quiet palace garden, Jojo set two skulls on the wooden table. One was a human skull. The other was a lion skull. The rabbit, the squirrel, and the tall sunflowers watched carefully. Jojo took a piece of chalk. "These teeth are used differently," he said softly. He pointed to the human skull. "Humans have teeth for cutting, tearing, and grinding. We eat many kinds of food." Then he pointed to the lion skull. "Lions have long, sharp teeth. They are made for catching and cutting meat." The animals nodded. Different teeth meant different ways to live. Jojo smiled. Nature had planned everything carefully.
Animal and human teeth. Revision. Incisors. Incisors cut and bite food into small pieces. Canines. Canines tear and hold food. Premolars. Premolars crush and grind food. Molars. Molars grind food into very small pieces for swallowing.
Chapter 6: The Soldiers' Picnic. Christy walked to the lake. 6 card soldiers were having a picnic, but the food was mixed up. "Let's sort it," Christy said. The soldiers placed food onto plates. Fruit and vegetable food items, apple and carrot. Carbohydrate foods, bread and rice. Dairy foods, milk and cheese. Protein food,
Fish and egg.
high sugar foods, cake and chocolate. High fat food, burger and fries. Christy smiled. Now the meal is organized and balanced.
Food groups and eating a good diet. Revision. Apple and carrot. These are fruits and vegetables. They give vitamins and help keep the body healthy. Rice and bread. These are carbohydrates. They give the body energy. Milk and cheese. These are dairy foods. They help make bones and teeth strong. Fish and eggs. These are proteins. They help the body grow and repair. Cake and chocolate. These are high in sugar. They should only be eaten sometimes. Burger and fries. These are high in fat. They should also be eaten only sometimes.
Chapter 7: Jamal's Lunchtime Choice. Jamal opened his lunchbox in the dining hall. The cupcake, cola, and fries all waved at him. "Pick us. Pick us, please. We're very tasty." Jamal reached toward the cola, then he stopped and thought. He looked at the apple, the rice, the bread, and the water. "These will help my body and help me learn during class." Jamal chose the healthy food and left the cola and sugary foods for another day.
Choosing healthy foods. Revision. Apple. Fruit that gives vitamins and fiber. Carrot. Vegetable that helps keep eyes and skin healthy. Bread. A carbohydrate that gives the body energy. Rice. Carbohydrate that gives long-lasting energy. Water. Keeps the body hydrated and working properly. High sugar and fat foods. Cola. Very sugary drink that should only be a treat. Cakes. Sweet food high in sugar and fat. Fries. Fried food high in fat and salt.
Chapter 8: Football and Treats. As the adventure was coming to an end, the card soldiers asked everyone to play one last game of football. Lily ran across the field. "I need energy," she said, choosing bread and rice before the game. After they finished playing, the soldiers brought out cupcakes. Everyone smiled. Lily looked at them and laughed gently. "High-fat and high-sugar foods are treats. We can eat them sometimes, but not every day." The children shared the cupcakes, one each, and felt happy about what they had learned.
Making choices about choosing healthy foods. Revision. What are healthy foods? These are foods that help our bodies grow, stay strong, and work properly. They usually give vitamins, minerals, fiber, and good energy. What are high sugar and fat foods? These are foods that taste good, but are not healthy to eat often. They give lots of sugar or fat. They are best eaten only as treats. Summary. What we learned. Flowers attract pollinators and help plants make seeds. Different animals are suited to different habitats. Teeth have different shapes for different jobs. The digestive system breaks food into nutrients for the body. Healthy foods help our bodies grow and stay strong. High-fat and high-sugar foods are treats, only sometimes. Before the exam. Listen to the story again at home. Review your class notes, revision materials, and practice questions. A little regular revision now will help you feel confident in the test.